Oh my god, this is so bad. That's supposed to be a kimono. Is this for kids? Worst quality wig that I have seen. I started the year with lots of plans to make new cosplays, and now there's less than 2 months for Halloween, and I realize I have only released 2 of them. I wouldn't say I have not been productive this year. I definitely have been making a lot of cosplays. However, I haven't been so good at taking pictures of those cosplays. I have a huge amount of cosplays that are living in my wardrobe, and not only I have started a lot of projects, I actually bought a few cosplays secondhand or very cheap on AliExpress that I thought would be fun to wear, and I haven't worn any of them. I thought the only way to get them going and get them finished is if I gave myself an ultimatum in which I either had to wear them or just get rid of them. So instead of letting these cosplays gather more dust, I have decided I am going to be choosing 13 cosplays from my backlog, and I am either gonna finish them or completely give up on them and never wear them. Let's just find some cosplays to finish. And here, oh my. Yeah, I am not super proud of my cosplay backlog. Some of these cosplays have been here for years, but I am working on it. The idea is to find a quick cosplay to wear so I can tick it off my list. But of course, this didn't go according to plan. Oh my god. Oh my god, this is so bad. Oh my goodness. Oh no. Have you seen that? That's supposed to be a kimono. That's supposed to be a kimono sleeve. Oh no. The only thing that... Wait a minute. Just let me... Oh, wait. Oh. Oh no. This is supposed to be a hakama? That's so bad. Oh no. Just look at that. It's just... Oh, no. No way. No way. That's supposed to be the wig for Tokito? Like that? Where's the rest of it? Oh no. That's the worst thing I've ever seen. Look at the quality. Oh my god, no. No wonder it was so cheap. So, I was just going to show you how... Jesus Christ. I was going to show you this, how it fits, but, you know... Okay. I'm just going to wear it. But, here we go. I was going to button it, and turns out that I cannot button it because this is not even open. This? Do you see that? They haven't even bothered opening the buttonholes on it. And, just look at that. What's that? I just don't understand it. Like, it's supposed to be like a kimono, and is it supposed to be like that? Let me check. Oh my god. Yeah. This is so bad. Is this for kids? Like, did I get something for kids? No, it was my size. What the hell is this? A glorified pleated pant or something, which is... Here, it's like just touching areas that you shouldn't be touching, especially for a hakama. It's too short, not wide enough, not pleated enough, and it looks dreadful. Can you see that? What's this? What's this? I'm gonna amuse you with this. Like, this is a wig for Tokito. Excuse my face, obviously I'm not wearing this with a cosplay, but yeah. This This is the wig. Like, where's the rest of it? Where's the ponytails? Where's it? This is so bad. Why the hell did I do this to myself? Like, honestly, in which universe I thought that a £20 cosplay would be any good? Like, honestly, I could literally spend 10 on fabric and make a better thing than this. Oh, I hate doing jackets. Oh. And this is how a quick project becomes, let's make a Tokito cosplay from scratch. And you may be thinking, this cosplay, it's not that bad. I guess it's fine. But I know I can do much better. And I'm going to. Okay, so definitely not something I'm going to wear anytime soon or ever. I think it would only work as fuel for a bonfire. So I actually opened this cosplay for the first time yesterday. I'm so glad that I checked it before wearing it because I was gonna do a photo shoot, and the moment I saw it I knew that it wasn't gonna happen. I don't have much time and I really would like to have this finished in the next 3 days before the premiere for the film of Demon Slayer. So yeah, of the cosplay I am going to be reusing the belt. That's the only thing that I think is reusable from this cosplay because everything else is dreadful. Good news is I do martial arts, so I already own a black hakama, so I won't need to worry about the pants. I'm gonna be having the most accurate pants that I can use. I bought some cotton fabric. This is cotton drill. You can also use gabardine or however you pronounce that. And it's basically just a little bit thicker cotton because I am doing a jacket, so I want a little bit of a structure on it, but at the same time it's also going to be like a kimono, so I am going to be making a mixture of kimono and jacket, if that makes sense. I already started making the patterns yesterday. Fortunately, they are pretty easy. I just had to modify a jacket pattern into a kimono style cut. So it's a hybrid. That's how I think it would look good. But yeah, I don't have much time to do a mock-up, so what I'm gonna do is use my lining as a mock-up. And yes, I'm gonna be lining the cosplay because if you notice, Muichiro has a white lining on his sleeves. Lastly, the last thing to do is I don't know like what to do with that wig because it's so bad. Like, let me show you. This is the worst quality wig that I have seen. Like, I can buy a wig like this for £3 on the multi-store at any time, and it will be better quality than this. Just look at that. Just look at that. Hopefully we will get something better than this. Time to work. First things first, I always start my cosplays with a mock-up. And as cotton is quite inexpensive, I decided to test the cosplay on my lining fabric and do all the adjustments on this layer as it will be mostly invisible. Once I was happy with the results, I cut the fabric for the jacket. Now, I usually link the patterns for my cosplays in the description, but this one is not finished yet, and I am honestly not sure anyone is interested in making a Tokito cosplay from scratch, so let me know in the comments if you would like to see this sewing pattern. And because I had plenty of time, I also decided it would be a good idea to make his sword too. Let's just call it a side quest for now. I sew the shoulders of the jacket and I attach the sleeves to the sides before I close them. A little cut under the armpit will help a lot with the process, as it's gonna be easier to handle it under the sewing machine. I sew the sleeve the wrong side around. No one is gonna notice because this is black. I'm sure you can't see this difference. But I'm still gonna unpick it and put it the right side around. Because I'm like that. I can see it. Yeah, things don't always go according to plan in cosplay, but you can always try to fix them. A little bit of ironing and the bulk of the jacket was mostly finished. But let's just check on my little side quest. It is day 4, I believe, and I'm having a lot of fun with my 3D printers as usual. This is a normal day in my life. I think out of 5, 4 of my prints have already failed. I mean, doing great timing. But yeah, doing good with the Tokito cosplay, so I may be able to have something done, or at least the jacket done today. Said it now, I think I jinxed it. But yeah, other than that, I'm just gonna see if I can just like figure out another print. Yes, I am already behind the schedule, but I am still hopeful. I chose my buttons and I fixed the opening of my sleeve, and I was now ready to attach the lining. And I have learned from my mistakes. For this jacket, I am going to sew just one of the cuffs first. And then immediately decided it's too small for Tokito because I really want that white lining showing, and this is not gonna do it. Once it is fixed, I can secure it with a few extra stitches at the base of the cuff and move on to the next side. So, this is gonna be interesting. I think I can sew the other one, but I need to do something weird. So, I just put the lining normally inside here. And if you put it here, obviously you can't sew it here because the raw edges would show. But the idea is that you should be just like this when it's folded inwards, which is what you want, would be like that, and this one would be like that, right? So if you put your hand through the jacket and the lining in between, and you catch here, these two together, you can just like take it out. And theoretically, that is where I can just like sew both lines together, and I will be able to do the sleeve. Makes sense. It does make sense. I think it worked. Yes! That is correct. Yay! Hey, I don't always mess it up. Following the same technique, I also sewed the bottom of the jacket, and only the collar was missing. I forgot to insert the pocket. Maybe I do mess up quite often, but I can still save this. I marked the position of my pocket and I cut 2 pieces of fabric for it. I could simply sew them on top, but I know I can do better than that. I can make a functional pocket. I interfaced 2 pieces of cotton and put them on each side of the opening, or the future opening. Then I marked the pocket again and sew around the lines with my sewing machine. It is now time to open that pocket. Just make sure you leave a triangle shape on each corner. This is gonna help later on when you are sewing the sides. And when you turn your fabric, it should look like this. But of course, we don't want a big opening like this. What we really want is that white fabric to show up. So I am going to fold it as best as I can and iron it very thoroughly. Dropping the camera to the floor is totally optional and not really recommended. The top and the bottom of the pocket is sewn, but I still need to catch the sides. Here is where you sew those little triangles I mentioned before. And finally, I sewed another piece of fabric folded in half to the top and bottom of the opening to create the pocket. Don't forget to sew the sides. The jacket is almost done, but let's see how my side quest is going. That looks like fun. We will get back to that later. For now, it is time to do the collar, and I decided to finish it with bias tape. But before I can attach it, I need to find the center of the jacket, because my jacket is buttoned and it means that it overlaps, and I don't want my collar to overlap. I finished the edge of the jacket first, and also I folded the excess fabric at the front inwards to create a facing. I like finishing this part by hand for a neat finish. Initially, I considered just adding 1 layer of bias tape to the edge of my collar. But I like experimenting with my techniques. So how about adding a second row of bias tape? This will make the edge wider and it will be closer to my references. The only problem is that my fabric is quite see-through in the middle, so before I sew it, I decided to make the fold a bit narrower, so I will have 2 layers of fabric at all times. And here's how I attach bias tape to a corner. I sewed on the folded line until the pivoting point, and then I sewed a straight line to the corner, creating this diagonal. Before I continued, I folded the bias tape on the diagonal and I aligned it to the side. This will add that extra little bit of a space to the corner to get an even finish. Starting at the pivoting point, I continued sewing the bias tape, and this is how it looks. Time to repeat for the second layer. And finally, you can simply finish the back by hand. Attaching the collar was quite simple. I simply put it right sides together with the neck opening, and I hid all the seams with the lining. At least something is working out. For the last detail, I only needed to finish the buttonholes. But as you all know, I have already mastered the technique. What could go wrong? What's the worst that can happen? That the buttonhole doesn't work. Done. What's going on? Why? Do you know what's worse than undoing a buttonhole? I'll tell you what, doing it twice. But we persevere and we just carry on because we want to finish this cosplay. I opened the buttonholes and I attached the buttons, and the only thing left to do was to draw the kanji for the Demon Slayer corpse at the back. I created a vector file and cut it with my cutting machine on heat transfer vinyl. And I simply needed to use my heat press to attach it to the jacket. The cosplay is done, but before I show you the reveal, let's go back to our little side quest. Actually, the blade of the sword was supposed to be only 3 pieces, but I had so many failures that I needed to split it in smaller parts in order to salvage them. I do not like wasting materials, and if I can save it, I will. Once I managed to figure out my puzzle, it was time to glue the pieces together. However, as most of my pieces were faulty, this took a little bit of extra effort to sand and just get all those nasty edges clean again. My pieces didn't have an inner support anymore, and this also created new issues. Extreme situations require baking soda. And yes, I haven't gone crazy. My super glue is not strong enough to hold the pieces together, but in theory, if you add baking soda to the glue, it creates a cement-like bond that should be stronger. Maybe I overdid it with the soda, but it worked. A little bit more sanding, and after a quality control, it was time to repeat for the other pieces. Once I sanded and cleaned all the pieces, it was time to apply a layer of paint. And to make my sword more interesting, I decided to mask the edges and paint them silver. This will make it look more like a real sword. For the glowing kanji, I used white ink on the recesses to make them stand out. I was being very careful, and I put my hand on top of it, and now, yeah. And I painted the handle details in black, although it probably would have been quicker to paint it the other way around. I added a few more details with gold paints and with this blue contrast paint to make my kanji pop even more, and it was time to assemble. However, my troubles weren't over because some of the pieces of this 3D print didn't match. And of course, I was about to put the last piece here, and there's one piece here that I 3D printed, but it seems I have to 3D print another one for in here because otherwise there is a gap. You see the gap? There's a gap. So I have to wait another hour to print that piece in order to finish the sword. Can you believe that I did print the missing part, and turns out there's yet another missing part, which I know I have printed, but I don't know where it is. I wonder why. There is always one more piece to make. It is too humid or something, and it didn't even work, so I'm just gonna have to hand paint it. 30 minutes for this. These one, please. You see, finishing cosplays is my downfall. There is always one more piece missing. One piece that doesn't match, or a glue that doesn't glue. Here is where you end up taking drastic measurements that don't work and make it even worse. But I don't give up so easily. I guess the moral of the story is, if something is free, it's probably not so good. Don't get me wrong, there are plenty of free files out there that are amazing. I actually have a lot of free downloads on my website, but if you always rely on the cheapest things out there, on the free ones, chances are you are going to have to spend a lot of extra time troubleshooting and trying to figure it out by yourself. Anyway, after adding some metal pins to my handle, let's just hope the sword will last long enough for the photo shoot. The very last thing to do was the wig. And I didn't want to spend more time than necessary on this, so I simply used an old black wig as a base, and I added the other one as an extension. Yep, as simple as that. As I still want to be able to wear this black wig, I made it detachable with some wig combs, and after adding a couple of strands to the front, I was ready for the reveal. In case you forgot, this is a cosplay that I originally bought, and this is the one I made myself in 4.5 days. What do you think? Was it worth it? For me, it totally was. But now I even have less time to catch up with my backlog before Halloween. Remember, I am doing a 13 cosplay challenge, and this is cosplay number 4. Oh, and it has functional pockets. Once again, thank you to my patrons that support my crazy projects, and thank you very much for watching. I will be seeing you in the next adventure. Bye! Tokito has a problem. Come on, boy. Come on up. And no. I'm sorry, girls. And boys. The good thing about these sleeves is that it's like a fan, so we can just like, you know, shoo shoo. Get away, fog. Shoo shoo. That's why he has these sleeves, like, makes sense. Ready?
Yeah, we need to put that to rave music after.
You didn't like that.
You okay, Millie?